do we actually require loans or we require grants? The students require grant. If you look at America, a country that is so civilized, advanced, a country that there are equal opportunities and job creation, yet the students have problems over the years in repaying of the loans. They will finish school, they will stay 5, 10, 15 years and have not been able to pay off the loans. So Biden had to, in fact, to produce what they call student loan forgiveness, which the Republicans now are taking them on. You are coming now to an economy where jobs are not guaranteed. You are coming to an economy where so many things are disjointed. So if you give the loan to that student, assuming they even get it, if you give the loan, is it his grandchildren that will pay off the loans? I think that the proper approach should be to give grants, thereby creating the opportunity for the less privileged to have access to education. That is what we in PDP planned in our manifesto when we said we are subsidizing education. The idea is the proceeds from the removal of fuel subsidy will be used in ensuring that a level playing field is created where private sector will give grants to students, government will give grants. And in fact, in 2007, it was initiated under Obasanjo. If you get 3 point something at a GPO, 4.0 GPO, you get 300,000. These are the approach I think that they should do. But unfortunately, for the purpose of grandstanding and then stage managing of things, they have signed what they call student loan, which will, in my opinion, be like the so many social investment programs of the last administration, where it ended up in the pocket of still the children of the...
Hello and welcome to the channel. Recall that human rights activist and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress AAC, Omoyele Sowore, also faulted the student loans law signed by President Bola Tinubu. Tinubu signed the student loan bill into law, which allowed Nigerian students to access loans from the government. It will make provision for funds to be domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Education and will only be assessed by indigent students of tertiary institutions. Reacting to the passage of the student loans law, Sowore said that student loans were never good for a society that needed to aggressively fund education. Sowore noted that the U.S. had more or less devoured its young and old educated population with student loans, adding that what Nigerian youths needed was free quantitative education at all levels. According to him, many U.S. citizens today are victims of education loans, whereas the U.S. spends unconscionable amounts in fighting wars that benefit none of their citizens. Every student in our educational institutions at the higher levels should earn nothing less than 100,000 naira per semester as a study grant. Even the U.S. has evolved past this stage and are now seeking ways to massively forego student loans. He added, "I have spoken extensively about loans because I am still owing student loan sharks 20 years after graduating from Columbia University in New York. Nothing good will come out of student loans," he said. Also, in related developments, the Education Rights Campaign has called on the federal government to make grants available to students of tertiary institutions in the country, as opposed to the recently signed Student Loan Act by President Bola Tinubu. The ERC's National Mobilization Officer, Adara Moye Michael, and Deputy Coordinator Ogunjimi Isaac, while addressing a press conference at the International Press Center, Ogba, in Ikeja, Lagos, noted that the student loan should be turned into a grant to support the living expenses of undergraduates in public tertiary institutions whose cost of living has risen astronomically due to the fuel subsidy removal and other economic measures. The student loan bill was proposed by the former Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and it was passed by the lawmakers in late May 2023 and assented to by President Tinubu in June. The loan provides funds for all education-related matters, including textbooks and research. However, mixed reactions trail the interest-free loan bill, even as the federal government notes it will aid access to tertiary education. The national president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, in an earlier interview with The Punch, had described the loan as discriminatory. Osodeke said, "Everyone knows our position on the student loan because it will end up encumbering the children of the poor with loans and debt after graduating. This is discriminatory. On the contrary, a former vice chancellor of Adekunle Ajasin Akungba University, Ondo State, Professor Femi Mimiko, envisaged that the dying universities would be greatly enhanced if the intention of the new act was properly delivered. The contentious issue of an effective repayment system that takes cognizance of the realities of our economy can be worked out in a future amendment with a view to allowing a longer moratorium before the commencement of repayment, he said. But the ERC maintained that the loan would not solve the problems of access to public education because other costs like acceptance fees, accommodation fees, off campuses, and other expenses were still prevalent. According to the group, unemployment in Nigeria is also a major challenge that can make payment of the loan difficult. The group said, while the government has been going about saying it is a non-interest loan, the repayment plan is onerous and could subject beneficiaries to a miserable existence. Section 18, 1 of the Act says that any beneficiary of the loan to which this Act refers shall commence repayment 2 years after completion of the National Youth Service Corps program. This means that it does not matter whether or not the beneficiaries have succeeded in getting a job or not, they must start paying. This is in a country where the unemployment rate is at least 40% for the general population and at least 53.6% among young people. We went at length to undertake a clause-by-clause examination of the Act for the benefit of those who applaud the loan out of ignorance because they do not have a full understanding of the details and what they mean. Even if the Student Loan Act is reviewed such that all the absurdities we noted above are removed or amended, the scheme will still not in any way solve the problem of access to higher education. This is because the solution to the problems of public education in Nigeria is proper funding and democratic management of schools. This is the only way to ensure that children of working people and the poor masses are able to go to school, the group said. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.
Do we actually require loans or we require grants? The students require grant. If you look at America, a country that is so civilized, advanced, a country that there are equal opportunities and job creation, yet the students have problems over the years in repaying of the loans. They will finish school, they will stay 5, 10, 15 years and have not been able to pay up the loans. So Biden had to, in fact, to produce what they call student loan